Well, it seems like everybody in America is now debating the way the delegates are chosen, particularly in the Republican Party. This is in part because Donald Trump has made such an issue out of it, hammering and hammering about a corrupt system, a rigged system, a crooked system, because there are states that have these, what I would consider arcane or even undemocratic rules, where rather than everybody getting to a vote in a primary, there's either a closed caucus system that picks delegates who are not necessarily bound to the candidate, or they just have a convention where the party insiders essentially pick the candidate. Trump doesn't think that's fair. The counter argument is everybody knew these rules in advance, and Ted Cruz has done a good job of taking advantage in some of these smaller states that don't have open primaries or even closed primaries. So I got an email here from Donalda Alexander, who says, as I watched the program this morning, I was taken aback by the comment that our political voting process has been this way for a long time. After realizing how my vote, or any other American's vote for that matter, doesn't really mean a damn thing, I'm outraged. How have we, the people, evolved to this state? Well, it's fascinating because a lot of these states like Colorado have not, they've had beauty contests, or they have had these closed caucus systems, or they've had these conventions in which the party insiders essentially pick the candidate that they want. And why is it getting so much attention now? Because in every other year I can think of, except going back to 1976 when Ronald Reagan almost took the nomination from incumbent President Jerry Ford, it hasn't mattered, because whoever was the front runner in either party really, by March at the latest, had the nomination wrapped up. So all the little kinks in the system and all the little games that are played and all the fact that party insiders control the machinery in some of these states, or they set up onerous rules, or they set up rules where the delegates are not bound, it just didn't matter, because in 2012 Mitt Romney had it wrapped up, and in 2008 John McCain had it wrapped up, and in the previous two elections George W. Bush had it wrapped up, certainly as an incumbent president, and even in 2000, not in the famous recount in Florida, but for the party's nomination. And the same thing with Bob Dole in 96, that you can go back as many years as you want until that 1976 battle. So none of us in the press, would report on it now and then, but didn't really focus on these questionable delegate selection rules, which I think now that there is a very harsh spotlight on it, a lot of Americans are saying what you say, which is, hey, how can this be fair? How can you have delegates who aren't bound to vote for a candidate who wins the state or the congressional district? How can you have states that pick them through a party insider-dominated machinery without giving people a chance to vote? All very good questions, and none of us really focused on it until now, because until this year and Donald Trump versus Ted Cruz and Kasich, it didn't really matter.